Well, 2016 has come to an end, and I hope 2017 will be better. Now, what I got here is a list. It's 10 ways to save America. I'm going to read you all 10 and explain why. Number 1, legalize all drugs. This is obvious. It increase revenue to the government via taxation and be better for everyone. And it actually help free societies. Because I honestly feel the prospect of making substances illegal is immoral. Not only that, but do you have any idea how much we spend on drug laws? Like, I've seen some studies claiming we spend more than we do on NASA than we do on drugs. Again, these people smoke the wrong type of plant. You know, Michigan pot arrests are up 17%, while Michigan governor arrests are the same as ever. It's just beautiful. I find drug laws idiotic for obvious reasons. I've gone into that on my channel, and there's so much more. Number 2, find better ways to use taxes. Okay, we should not use taxes to bomb brown kids in Africa, okay? Or bomb kids in Saudi Arabia. Or bomb kids, not in Saudi Arabia, in Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Syria. We shouldn't be bombing people there. You know, we should use taxes on more important things that help us. We shouldn't be using it to kill other people via drone strikes. Donald Trump will increase drone strikes, but we've been doing them in the first place as the problem. The problem isn't that, you know, oh, Donald Trump's increasing drone strikes. The problem is we've been doing them in the first place when they've missed like 93% of their targets. You know, you see little kids. And if you think that little kid's a terrorist, by the way, all those kids that are killed from drone strikes, you're an idiot. End of story. Number 3, stop funding Israel and Saudi Arabia. Now, I have nothing against Jews or Muslims, but I don't have anything against Israelis and the Saudi Arabians. I do have something against the Israeli and Saudi Arabian governments. Saudi Arabia is a terrorist nation that was involved in 9/11. Has blackmailed economically, thinks women driving is terrorism, and so much more. We fund them. Israel is a criminal nation filled with evil government. And we fund them. Now, granted, you want to know how much we actually fund Israel? I think it's like $104 million a year. Around that much. Okay? That's way too much. You know? And if you actually compare Libya, Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan to Israel, it's amazing how when we drone strike one country but don't drone strike another country, it magically doesn't look like complete crap. Number 4, have free healthcare in colleges. Healthcare is a right. Universal healthcare is needed. Anyone can argue that. And we could actually, you know what nation has free healthcare in colleges due to the money we pay? Israel. There's a good reason to stop funding them so we can have the higher living standards. You know, and at the same time, healthcare should be a human right, okay? Anyone who doesn't think it should be a human right is idiotic. People's lives should not be a business. Anyone with any sort of moral code could argue that. And if you really break down the cost of free healthcare, Obamacare costed businesses like an extra 5 cents. That is not enough to the point where we need to stop having Obamacare. No. We need to have free healthcare because Obamacare was a failure anyway. What Obamacare did is it made us basically go to large corporations. It was first passed by Romney in 2004. It was praised by Newt Gingrich, so I already knew it was a scam. Obamacare just ruined our healthcare system. If they kept the public option open, it'd be like a B- to an A- somewhere in there. But Obamacare just took our healthcare system from like an F and made it like a D+. We need to get that A by making it free. And colleges, education is also a right. Everyone can agree on that. We shouldn't make it easier to pay back student loans. We shouldn't even have student loans. Okay? Okay. Number 5. Stop having gun control. I know I just angered all the conservatives in this audience. Now it's angering some liberals. I don't believe in gun control. I do not believe the government is fit to control guns. Now, I don't own a gun. I don't have a gun. I don't see myself ever having a gun that's above like a handgun. I do feel your right should not be infringed, though. You know, isn't that an important thing? Number 6, end political parties. Seeing people call themselves Republicans or Democrats confuses me because they're not politicians, okay? Politicians shouldn't even have political parties, but the people definitely shouldn't. You know, we shouldn't have third parties, for instance. We should have no parties. Why do you think it's so hard for people to vote third party in a general election? It's because they believe it's a wasted vote because it's a third party. Well, there shouldn't be a first or a second party. There should be no parties. Okay? Okay. Plus, it just adds to corruption when people call themselves mainstream Democrats or Republicans. You don't have a specific set of beliefs. It doesn't encourage free thought in the slightest. That's kind of important. Number 7. Get rid of the Electoral College and gerrymandering. We're supposed to be democratic. We need to be a democratic nation. Gerrymandering in the Electoral College gets in the way of that. Popular vote should be the only vote. Okay? And some people will say, oh, but at least a one-party system. No, it doesn't. If you could see popular vote for third-party candidates, you'd probably be more encouraged to think about voting for them. Now, if you saw Jill Stein's actual vote figure or Gary Johnson's actual vote figure, you'd be more encouraged to vote for them as opposed to what states will they win. Number 8, make living wages mandatory. I know some people are going to say, but Ephrom, Josine, didn't you say you didn't support a minimum wage increase? Yes, but I feel that the minimum wage increase is the wrong way to go about it. We need to control inflation. If we can successfully put inflation under control, then, okay, we can raise the minimum wage. Living wages are based on prices, not wage. It's going to sound weird, but living wages are actually more based on prices than they are wages. You can have a $100 an hour wage, but if it costs you $1,000 to buy a jug of milk, it's not going to do much. We need to control inflation first, usually by gradual increases, instead of just saying, okay, boom, twice as much. You can see my armpits and everything. I just watched that Mystery Science Theater episode today. Number 9, make smaller candidates available. There were several liberals who agreed far more with Jill Stein's positions than Hillary Clinton's positions and still went out and voted for Hillary Clinton. And there are several conservatives positions in this world who agreed more with, what was his name? I'm going to look him up here. Darrell Castell, he's the Constitutionalist Party leader. Or Gary Johnson, they did with Donald Trump. But they still went out and voted for Donald Trump because these candidates weren't available. I guarantee you, if more people knew they could vote for these candidates, Jill Stein, Gary Johnson, and Darrell Castell, not Darrell Castro. Darrell Castro is someone else. And even though I don't think it was Darrell Castro, I think it was Fidel Castro. I'm gonna look that up now. Fidel Castro! Not Darrell Castro! And not Darrell Castell! But anyway, I guarantee more people knew they could vote for Jill Stein or Gary Johnson or Darrell Castell. I'm recording this at like 11:30 on New Year's Eve. So my mind's not fully there right now. I guarantee you, if more people knew they could vote for Jill Stein or Gary Johnson or Darrell Castell, they would have voted for them. I guarantee you there would have also been more write-in votes for Fidel Castro. I don't know why, but I guarantee you that's why. I just can't get over this. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, if I wasn't recording this so late on New Year's Eve, I would have scrapped this video just for that one line. Okay, number 10, I gave myself like a minute to calm down, which is a minute out of my time. Keep the government secular. Now, as an atheist, this is important to me, because when we have evangelical Christian Mike Pence and, like, that guy who Trump's picking for the Supreme Court, who's like, saying things like, sex outside of marriage should be illegal and things like that, I'm worried we won't have a secular government, when a secular government is extremely important. Okay? Mike Pence scares me due to his hatred for secularism. And, when I was watching the vice presidential debate, I was scared because there were things like, what are your thoughts on God, Mike Pence and Tim Kaine? I like him. Mike Pence said, I like him. And Tim Kaine also said, I like him too. I also believe God is pro-abortion. Then Mike Pence said, I believe God is against abortion. And I was just thinking, there's no God to be for or against abortion. I'm doing this in honor of Jim again. Someone tell Dylan Thomas! So overall, that's how I think we could fix the government in 2017. These 10 ways are extremely important. We should do them, and look at my horrendously spelled wrong versions of them. I'm Cifro Joe, and happy 2017.